a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, a perfect outcome to all things is assured. Yeah, I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. In every situation, there's a blessing somewhere. Come gather, brothers and sisters, and we'll see that it is there. Ooh, I need you, you need me. Yes, you do. And that's how our happiness is guaranteed. Take it, boys.
And now, in all your doings, be you blessed. Through you is ushered in a world unseen, unheard, yet truly there. Holy are you, and in your light, the world reflects your holiness. For you are not alone and friendless. I give thanks for you, and join your efforts on behalf of God, knowing that they are on my behalf as well, and for all those who walk to God with us. Walk to God with us.
Perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. I'm getting stronger every day because my faith leads the way. A perfect outcome to all things is assured. A perfect outcome to all things, yeah, is assured.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
We doggies.
Hi, everybody. Let's just all take a deep breath together. Come on.
Because a perfect outcome
Is assured.
to all things
Yeah.
are assured. But we have fixed the mouse, and I put the battery in backwards. So I was upset on top of upset. So it was like, oh, what? And Julie goes, oh, no, sweetie, you just put the battery in backwards, right? And the whole world was right again.
Yeah.
You know.
So, I wanted to start today by saying what a joy it's been to be here with you
Part
today.
of this community and in this time here today.
Such lovely sharing already today. And when Glen went out to get the batteries, he came back in because there was a special delivery in our mailbox, and I want to show you what it is. And
There's somebody in the room who knows exactly what it is.
And if you're listening on the radio, but I want to show you what it is. I know, I'm so thrilled. And guess who this is a gift from? Our dear, wonderful Sina. Mm-hmm. I love you so much, my sweet sister Sina.
Mm-hmm. I know. And we've been singing the sutras all day long.
Oh, well, they're beautiful. I'm gonna start from the beginning and try to figure out music for all of them, I think. But I just wanted to start the day with this because I think this is really cool. It's the banter verses 1 and 2, and it says, "One day the goddess sang to her lover." Bhairava, thank you. So one day the goddess sang to her lover Bhairava, "Beloved and radiant lord of the space before birth, revealer of essence, slayer of the ignorance that binds us, you who in play have created this universe and permeated all forms in it with never-ending truth, I have been wondering, ... I have been listening to the hymns of creation, enchanted by the verses, yet still I am curious. What is this delight-filled universe into which we find ourselves born? What is this mysterious awareness shimmering everywhere within it?
So
That's why we're
shimmering today. So the colors are like black and sequin. You know,
Red sequin.
The colors of today are red sequins.
We are shimmering today.
We really are.
In honor of Sina and our entire Awakening Together community. We love you so
Yeah,
very
one day
much.
when the goddess was singing to her lover, and the story begins, right? As the play of what is beautiful. Oh my God, it's so wonderful. It's so beautiful here.
It is so
You
beautiful
know,
here. I'm thrilled. Hi, Connie. We're
Yay.
just saying hi.
Connie cool.
And there's Arizona and
And
Shauna and Tika. Let's see. I don't know. I can't see everybody in the room, but thank you all for being here with us. We're going to do a brand new sing-along, but it's, you know, a traditional seasonal song, Christmas carol, I suppose you would say. Yeah, it is. It's Christmas carol. But we've sort of rewritten it a little bit. And to honor
The
all
season.
of us, the season.
And to make it our expression of us.
Yeah. So here we go. Here we go. It's joy to
And
the
you
world.
will totally
Yeah,
recognize
you'll
this.
totally get it. All right, here we go. Joy to the world, the light is come. Let earth receive this gift. Let every heart prepare room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, the goddess reigns. Let us our songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. We love the world in truth and grace, and prove that we are one. The glories of the people of the earth, and wonders of our love, and wonders of our love, and wonders of our love.
Did you get to sing along?
Well, it's hard to
Okay,
follow.
I know. There's a lot of this stuff, you know.
But I just like
know.
to do
I
that,
know.
you know.
Yeah.
As I'm wont to do, change lyrics to things. But you know what? Merry Christmas!
Right back at ya.
Yeah, right back at ya.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? This was so fun today because hearing Regina's, homily and everything, and it was lovely, and we were like, oh wow! And there's so many things, so many celebrations that happen at this
Right.
time of the year.
So before we get
Yeah.
into A Course in Miracles has this same sort of theme
Yes.
that runs through it. So I mean, if you're looking at the lesson today, right?
Right.
What was today's lesson?
Well, let's go back.
It's 352, right? 352. Yep.
Yes.
So-
Judgment
Okay.
and love are opposites. From one come all the sorrows of the world, but from the other comes the peace of God himself.
So we're talking about like tolerance and judgment and the qualities, the qualities of a teacher of God, or the right.
Mm-hmm.
So read.
Oh, you want to look? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Forgiveness looks on sinlessness alone and judges not. Through this I come to you. Judgment will blind my eyes and make me blind.
Oh,
For sure, right?
that's a really good advice.
Mm-hmm.
That when you're to put those two things together, that judgment causes blindness.
Mm-hmm. Yet love, reflected in forgiveness here, reminds me you have given me a way to find your peace again.
Giving me away.
Yep.
Away. I can choose.
I am redeemed when I elect to follow in this way. You have not left me comfortless. I have within me both the memory of you and one who leads me to it.
Okay.
How about that? We're speaking of the Holy Spirit's voice.
Right.
Father, I would hear your voice and find your peace today, for I would love my own identity and find it in the memory of you.
My identity. Isn't that the quest? That's the holy, I mean, that's the hero's journey. That's everything. It's who am I? Who would you be? You know, the decisions we make are fundamentally associated with who we think we are.
Yeah.
So go to the last. Say we're not gonna be here for a few weeks. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip ahead in the lessons. Don't tell anybody. I'm gonna skip ahead.
Let's see.
So
How far ahead is that?
she does. What's nice is the last week of the course is the same
Oh, yes.
lesson. Mm-hmm. So there are 365 lessons, but we have reviews, and there are a few of them that we say a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one she wants you to say 5 days
In a
row. Okay?
And this is lesson 361 to 365.
Contemplate this for a week.
Yeah. And it goes like this. This holy instant would I give to you.
Boom.
Be you in charge.
Right.
For I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. Wow.
See, direction. What do I do? Where do I do? What do I go? I don't know. I'm upset. What do you do? This instant.
Well, here's
She says it. She
Here's
says
what
this
it
beautiful
says.
thing.
And if I need a word to help me, he will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will he also give. And if I need but stillness and a tranquil, open mind, these are the gifts I will receive of him.
Mm-hmm.
He is in charge by my request, and he will hear and answer me because he speaks for God my Father and his Holy Son.
Oneness.
Yeah.
Speaks for the one who is loving, the one who is loved, and the very love itself.
Yeah.
You know, marvelous. Absolutely marvelous.
Really, really
So
beautiful.
that's where that's what why in the Course of Miracles they say that often happy end of sacrifice.
Oh,
right? You've heard that
yeah.
before?
Yeah,
Happy
well,
end of sacrifice.
We were talking about that last week, I think. Yeah. Well, actually, our guests on Sounds of Awakening were talking about that. Ellie was talking about that. Yeah.
So let's talk about
and so so we get really excited.
Like everybody.
Like this is a wonderful season, right? And there's so much to celebrate and so much love, to give to each other and share with each other. I know. Yeah, let's show the crow. We've been cleaning up the house today.
We cleaned the house, and I was like, wait a minute.
There's our little friend, the crow.
I know. On my shoulder.
On his shoulder. So we were thinking about, there's a lot of celebrations that happen. Certainly Christmas is happening. Also, there are other celebrations that happen at this time that speak to the return of the light.
Human beings have been doing this for a long time.
For a really long time. So I wanted to go to, in today's homily and everything reminded me of our purpose and values here. So I wanted to share that before we talk about some other things that we celebrate here in our household. But listen to this, it's so cool, and I know you've read it a million times. There is consistent wisdom in the universe.
Period.
It shows up in all religions, in philosophy, in all cultures, and throughout time. This wisdom is not unique or new. It is owned by no one and by no organization. No one has to go to a special place or a special teacher to find it. It is the most abundant wisdom in the universe. Once one opens her heart to this wisdom, it appears everywhere by the hand of universal grace.
Mm-hmm.
That's our purpose and values. Yeah. Wow.
I know. Such integrity.
Such integrity here in this community.
And what, this is why the welcoming is that we're interested in the truth, not the performance of culture.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We're interested in the truth because culture of the place is always about how, we recognize the gift of God, the light returning in these different places. Whether you live in the southern hemisphere, it looks one way. The northern hemisphere looks another way. Yeah. If you're in a desert culture, it looks one way. If you're in a forest and plain culture, it looks another way. So how is this universal truth keep coming up over and over and over and over and over again? Because it's laying around. It's just plain old just laying around for us to interact with and see and use and have fun with, if we choose to see it.
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely? Right? It's all up to us. Yeah. The Course of Miracles says at the beginning goes, take your time.
Yeah.
You don't get to choose the curriculum, but you get to choose the order that you want to take it in. Right? How ethical is that? You can go learn all the religions. Right? You can go learn all the rituals and all the religions if you want to. And I've done a lot of that.
Well, yeah. We both have. We went to interfaith seminary.
Yeah, I went to interfaith seminary to learn all of that.
Yeah, we studied
Changed
a lot of
my
things.
Life.
It did. And so one thing that we celebrate here in our household is the winter solstice.
Yeah.
Which here in the northern hemisphere, of course, we're moving toward the shortest day of the year. And something I like to think about is, can you imagine what it must have been like before modern technology and lights and street lights and everything like that, for the
it gets darker and colder and colder and colder and colder and colder and darker, and you
didn't know whether it was going to come back or
what's
not.
happening. What's happening? So that's why there's parties and all this stuff right now, because we're trying to convince the sun to come back. You do all these things to make sure we don't lose this light. We don't lose the sun, and it's fun because the sun stays still to human eyes. It doesn't, of course, but to our human eyes, it doesn't move. We can't tell the difference in the movement. For 3 days, it doesn't move. Isn't that kind of like weirdly, oddly significant?
Well, 3 days in the dark, right?
For Jesus, 3 days in the dark, and then the light comes back, and the symbol for the solstice in ancient and Neolithic times is a plus sign or a cross, like an X or a plus sign. That's the symbol for the winter solstice.
That's the winter solstice?
That's the winter solstice.
Wow.
Well, it's almost like it's coming back. The sun came back. We did it right. We were good people. We did all the things that we were supposed to do, right? And just like, yay, let's have a party. We're going to make it, right? The sun's coming back. We're going to make it through the winter. We're going to make it. My family's going to make it.
Yeah. I just love that. I love to think of how that must have felt, you know? And so we want to actually maybe share this screen.
Okay.
Because here's a really cool thing you can do if you want to.
The Winter Solstice 2022 you can watch it live
from Stonehenge.
At Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the deal. You might have to set an alarm because it's 8:09 GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, or London, because the Stonehenge happens in west eastern England, southeastern England, on the continent of Great Britain. So it's 5 hours. We're 5 hours earlier.
Yeah.
So if it's 8 o'clock, so it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. EST.
And unless you're, or you could stop the show.
Stop share.
Or you're in Levita, it's like 9 hours earlier.
Something like that.
Yeah. So,
but anyway, we just thought we wanted to share that with you because what a cool thing. We're going to Vermont on Friday morning, so we may get up at 3 o'clock and watch it. Yeah, I know. Sean was like, not so sure. But isn't that cool that you can watch
it live,
the sunrise from Stonehenge? I think that's really, really cool.
So,
okay, so we're gonna.
That's done.
That one done.
So in this way of saying, what are, this time of year. Did you know that tonight is the first night of Hanukkah?
It is. And so in honor of that, we're going to do a candle lighting. And, you probably know the Hanukkah celebration, also known as the Festival of Lights.
And Hanukkah means renewal.
Yeah. And it's...
Or rededication.
So, the tradition is that it celebrates the miracle that occurred when the Maccabees reclaimed the temple, and the sanctuary was a shambles. It was torn apart by the Hellenic forces, and the fighters only found enough oil to light one lantern by which to read the Torah for one day. There was only enough oil in there for one day.
They had to do ritual to clean up the places. All this ritual that had to be done to make it a sacred temple again, right? Because the wrong people were in it. So,
but anyway, there was only enough oil for one day, but the lantern blazed for 8 days.
How about that?
Isn't that cool? I love that.
So the idea of miracles, the miracles is like, oh my God, it's still burning. This isn't supposed to happen, right?
So what we're gonna do?
We're gonna remember this day. We're gonna tell this story again and again and again, right?
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little candle lighting ceremony. Then we're gonna go into our meditation and a song. So we're gonna do our candle lighting ceremony. Here, you hold this. So blessed be, the light returns. And
on the first night of the miracle.
On the first night.
There we go.
Of the miracle.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, Shauna.
Thanks, Shauna. So we're going to have our candle with us for the rest of our program. We'll put it over here by the crow. There we go. And now let's do our meditation. So here we go. As we gather again today here in this circle of unconditional love, where we include everything that we like and everything that we do not like, we celebrate the return of the light. We celebrate that we know that the light is in our hearts. We celebrate that we know that we are one with each other. And we celebrate the joy of this season, no matter which celebration each of us participate in. And we just honor all that is in our lives. Blessed be, and so it is. O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile here, until the Son of God appears. Rejoice, rejoice.
Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Everyday miracles happening everywhere, in every time and each place. All of the miracles happening around us are right in front of our face. I am a miracle, you are a miracle, we are all miracles too. Everything that is happening is a blessing to you. Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Miracles are seen in the light. 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 Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Miracles are seen in the light, and the light is my strength. Oh, come, thou rod of Jesse, free thine own from Satan's tyranny. From depths of hell thy people save, and bring them victory o'er the grave. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
Oh, yay!
We were giggling too much. We had so much. I said, "Do you know how hard it is to walk in platform Timbs in the snow?" And
I had Timberland boots on, stiletto heel Timberland boots on.
do you like that up too? I mean, it opens with Yolanda just like casually in the forest. I was like, "What the hell?" I love that scene.
So
We had
anyway,
so much fun.
We had
doing
fun
that.
because that is in our beloved Vermont,
On the countryside,
in the
driving around, and
countryside,
Lake
yeah.
Champagne at the end,
Lake
and the light
Champlain,
opens
yeah.
up, and everything like that happened exactly like that. It was really,
was
really, really,
so much
really
fun.
pretty. But
So thanks for enjoying that with us.
yeah, stroll down memory lane. Really.
All right. So let's see. What are we
We're up to
working to? Oh, look at this.
Oh,
We are
Why
in
don't you-
chapter 31.
we're on chapter 3. So we've been talking, it's like about how. Let's show. Let's
You wanna
just
show-
just,
you wanna share?
Just share the
Okay,
just
go
share the
ahead.
screen.
You go ahead.
Okay. So, chapter 31 is about your practice. It's about what we do. There's the chapter before this is called New Beginnings. So it's like once you awaken or you learn a lesson, your life changes. Because your perspective changes, you make different choices, and so different things happen, right? Just like different things happen when you grow up. At 9 years old, you're making different decisions and you have different understandings in 15, and it's a really developmental thing. It's the same way we are walking to God together as the Course of Miracles. As in when we do, we have new and more profound lessons, which is what Regina and others talk about, the purification process followed by the renewal process, and we talked about the steps of the trust. You have a time of discernment and a time of letting go, and there's the stages, there's methods that we as human beings have really gone through, and this isn't unusual. There are seasons.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So
yeah.
we do this over and over and over again. It's not like you do it
yeah.
one time.
Right.
You only get one shot at 5, but you always, that 5-year-old is always in you, because the 6-year-old goes on top of the 5-year-old, right? And it's always available. It's always available. That's why time isn't real. Okay. So you get to chapter 31 in the Course of Miracles, because this is about how to practice this. It's like the games that Sean is going to go through us. We're going to help us with.
I can't wait for that,
This
Sean.
is kind of like the games
That's gonna be
of
fun.
awakening. It's like, where can you think, catch yourself, but more like it's catching and doing, right? Because it isn't enough to understand, right? You have to take action on what you understand in order to get the lesson down, right? So this is where chapter 31 in A Course in Miracles, she wants you to say, practice these ideas. Really practice them and make them a part of your being, the way you do things, the modus operandi for your house. So she says, so she goes, so the image is the shouting, give me your attention, the magnaphone. It says, give me your attention, because that isn't what everything's doing. Like the news, your relationship, your job, worry is all like got this megaphone saying, I want your attention, I want your attention. So wow, how do you manage or think about or look at your own attention and what it's for, and how to like think about that? We do a lot about that here. Self-inquiry, what you think about grows. We know basically this concept. We're going to go look at it from a little bit different angle, because Course in Miracles always has a different angle. Right? So this is called the real, and she uses the real as capitalized, alternative. The real alternative. Because we're moving out of the world and participating in the world as the world into understanding that, like Regina said today, we are to be in the world and not of the world. Or like I like to say it, you are happening to the world is not happening to you. So in this, what does that look like? How do we outpicture and walk in that? Really physically walk in it and look at it and be it, right? This integrity that we're always talking about. Do your ends match your means? Are you doing the thing that is going to bring about the experience that you want?
Right.
So the first paragraph is always good, and there are only 10 in this one, but the first paragraph is always good. So read what I've highlighted for you, Yolanda.
Oh, here we go. Okay, there is a tendency to think the world can offer consolation and escape from problems that its purpose is to keep. Why should this be? Because it is a place where choice among illusions seems to be the only choice, and you are in control of outcomes of your choosing.
Who's in control?
Ha!
We're in control of the outcomes of our choosing.
Yeah. But you can choose the road but you can choose which road will lead you out of conflict and away from difficulties that concern you not. Yet they are your concern. Okay. What does that mean? Why did she just say that?
Because you do actually care about the things that are happening in your world. You do feed yourself. You're nice to people. You scream in delight when you get a birthday present.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I scream in delight today when I got this present. Whee!
Merry Christmas. So you do care. You do care. You can. These are your concerns. You know, what do you do with them? And she says there's a tendency to think that the world can offer you a consolation of escape from the problems that it's designed to keep.
Right. The world is designed
to keep these problems. Yeah. Okay, so she says there's two roads out of conflict. What are these two roads? Well, one of them is trying to manage the world. Control everything. Make everything right. Fix everything. Fix yourself. Fix the world. Right? These are difficulties that concern that she's asking you to not be concerned with. In fact, she defines conflict as difficulties that concern you not. That's a difficulty.
That's been hard for us over
You're
here.
paying attention to something you should not be paying attention to.
Right.
You're out of your pay grade. Right? You know, did I ask you to do that for me? You know? No.
Did I
take your hands off? Take your hands off the wheel, right?
Not literally when you're driving.
I just got that song, "Jesus Take the Wheel." So the conflict is the difficulties we have managing things that we have no business managing. That's one road out of conflict, is to try to control everything. The other road is to choose peace or to choose reality. And that's why she wants to talk about your attention, right? About what you're paying attention to. And she makes a couple of reminders here. You won't, and they're really nice, because the first thing we think of, our little brains, our thinking minds say this: you will not be asked to give up anything that you want, right? You don't have to give up everything that you want. Holy Spirit knows this, right? My mother says, you could just walk into the light and not be dragged kicking and screaming. You could. So what? And so she got this really ethical. Oh, I won't be asked to go faster or know things that I don't know or but I just won't. Right. And the next thing is, what must go with you will always go with you. You can't leave behind anything that you need. You can't inadvertently go back. You can't inadvertently go back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can't inadvertently leave something behind that you needed. Right? Oh, I forgot the batteries. That doesn't happen. You can't forget the source. You can't forget your source. You can't leave your divinity behind. You can't leave your holiness behind. You can't leave it anybody. You can't get rid of anything or let go of anything that is not you. So what are you worried about letting go for? Why do we ever worry about letting go? If you can let go of it, it's not you.
Wow, I just got that.
Wow. So the struggle, we think I don't want to do what Jesus says. I'll lose stuff. I'll lose things. I won't be cool anymore. Right? No, the Holy Spirit is not going to ask you to give up or take something from you that you can't manage. Right? Isn't that nice?
That's a good point.
Isn't that nice? So maybe we could take it easy and not have to worry about, I'm not going fast enough. I'm not learning fast enough. I'm not doing it right enough. I'm only meditating 12 hours a day. Or whatever it is,
Oh gosh.
It could,
that was funny. That was funny this morning.
I know. So there are two roads out of conflict. One is trying to tamp down the world and get it under control, and the other is just to step back and choose peace and start paying attention to what I think I'm mine to do. So go to the next paragraph.
Real choice is no illusion.
Second, third, and fourth paragraphs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, here we go. Real choice is no illusion, but the world has none to offer.
Oh.
All its roads but lead to disappointment, nothingness, and death.
Oh, she's going to go on here for a little bit. So
there's no choice in its alternatives. Seek not escape from problems here.
Read that again.
Seek not escape from problems here. Here. The world was made that problems could not be escaped.
I want you to put a pin in that and don't spin out. Keep going.
On some you travel gaily for a while before the bleakness enters, and on some the thorns are felt at once. The choice is not what will the ending be, but when it comes.
The other shoe.
There
Lord.
is no choice where every end is sure. Perhaps you would prefer to try them all. Why not? Before you really learn that they are but one. Men have died on seeing this because they saw no way except the pathways offered by the world, and learning they led nowhere lost their hope.
Yeah.
And yet this was the time they could have learned their greatest lesson.
So not tipping into nihilism.
Right.
So go.
All
finish this
must reach this point and go beyond it. No longer look for hope where there is none. Make fast your learning now and understand you but waste time unless you go beyond what you have learned to what is yet to learn. For from this lowest point will learning lead to heights of happiness in which you see the purpose of the lesson shining clear and perfectly within your learning grasp.
She calls this the greatest lesson.
Woohoo.
That all these distractions are one distraction. The greatest lesson, right? I don't need, how many times do we, you need to learn to, we were moving, and so I had some boxes in an unusual place, and they were heavy because I was moving them around. I want you to know that I stubbed my toe on those boxes until I learned that those boxes weren't going to move. How many times did I have to? I had 4. I had to stub my toe 4 times before I learned that those boxes weren't going to move. And I'm like that in my brain too. It's like, look, you can learn these things as many times as you want to, or you can learn it once. If you bottomed out on the first time you learned it, you wouldn't have to stub your toe 3 more times. Bottom out on learning the lesson and try. Oh, maybe I could maybe I just didn't do it. Maybe if I dance or go in the door backwards or something, I would maybe get where I'm going. We'll try everything rather than just don't avoid the box. Don't stub your toe on don't hit the box. So this is the greatest lesson, that there really isn't a choice, because she says it very clearly. I don't know whether you got this kind of unusual. Real choice is no illusion. Right? When all the choices that you can see aren't real and don't go where you want to go, what choice is that? It's not a choice, she says. We can choose what is real over what is not real. That is your innate inheritance. That is who you are. You have the ability to know the difference between what is real and what isn't. She says that in the very, very first introduction to A Course in Miracles. That's what she says you're going to be doing. We're going to be doing is learning the difference between what is real and what isn't, so we can seek and experience and share the peace of God that's already here, laying around, common as day. And she makes a couple of reminders. Seek not to escape the problems here. And the world was made that problems could not be escaped. Right?
You know what? That makes sense, actually, if you think about it. That, that's what we came here to do, is to experience what we call problems. And to me, that's what I'm beginning to really put together when I say, everything that I like and everything I don't like is in the circle of love, because they're important to experience. This stuff is important to experience.
I'm choosing the direction, right? It's my choice. She did Luke today. She did Luke 9.
Yes.
Today, because I must realize that if it is here, I have asked for it.
Yes.
It's like, oh man, do you really want to take responsibility for all that? It's like, oh my God, I asked to stub my toe 4 times. That doesn't sound very fair. Well, I asked to pay attention and to not think I know where everything is all the time, and just to pay attention. All I would have had to do is be present with the box that in front of me. All I had to do was be present. So it's that lesson over. There's only one. What's the greatest? What's the greatest lesson? Nothing out here has any inherent meaning. It just doesn't. Doesn't satisfy. It's the greatest lesson. And we keep learning it. And she says this in a very clear way. She goes, be the person who only has to learn the lesson once. So this is what's...
that sounds fun.
I know, it sounds kind of adult. So she goes, so the world is not the problem. The state of the world, no matter the state, isn't the problem. The realization is that after fixing everything, we realize that after we have fixed everything, you're probably still not going to like being in your own company. Because the problem hasn't been solved. You don't know who you are.
Oh, because you're busy fixing.
You're busy fixing everybody and yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
It's endless.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I want a perfect body. I want a perfect house. I want a perfect, And the request here, of course, is to bottom out on monitoring all of these material things.
Yeah.
To bottom out on monitoring, what I say, the decaying bodies as they're moving through space. And I don't care what body it is. If it's in the world, it's decay. To bottom out on monitoring the decaying bodies that are moving through the space in front of your eyes. It can be very, very difficult. But that's the practice. So, all right, we got 5. We're halfway done.
Okay, the next thing. The learning that the world can offer but one choice, no matter what its form may be, is the beginning of acceptance that there is a real alternative instead. To fight against this step is to defeat your purpose here. You did not come to learn to find a road the world does not contain. The search for different pathways in the world is but the search for different forms of truth.
Ooh.
And this would keep the truth from being reached.
Endless.
And every road that leads the other way will not advance the purpose to be found.
Your purpose is to pay attention. Right? Your valuable attention.
That's my purpose.
My purpose.
That's my
is
purpose.
to pay attention. To give up your search for truth in many forms and many experiences. And the promise is you will find perfect happiness is guaranteed, the Course says. That's God's will for you, is perfect happiness. Do you want to let her give it to you? Or you want to gonna manage these bodies in space so that they can give you something that they were never designed to do?
Interesting.
So go ahead.
All right. There is a choice that you have power to make when you have seen the real alternatives.
We have power?
Until that point is reached, you have no choice, and you can but decide how you would choose the better to deceive yourself again. All choices in the world depend on this. You choose between your brother and yourself, and you will gain as much as he will lose, and what you lose is what is given him. How utterly opposed to truth is this, when all the lesson's purpose is to teach that what your brother loses, you have lost, and what he gains is what is given you.
That is a lifestyle. That is a way to walk through the world. That is an understanding that will change the very, very nature of how you interact with everything. Yeah. And she says, it comes from the power of your choice. Your attention.
Thank you, attention.
To deceive. So we either are going to choose to deceive ourselves some more, which is the word she used, by learning the lesson again and again and again in many forms and in many places, or we're going to choose to join what is. That's what she says, your brother. So the choice in the world becomes to live in a win or lose, have and have not, power and powerless world. Sound familiar? Or to live in reality. Reality is, when my brother loses, I lose. When my brother gains, I gain. So let's continue.
He has not left his thoughts, but you forgot his presence and remembered not his love. All roads that lead away from what you are will lead you to confusion and despair.
Woo-hoo!
Yet has he never left his thoughts to die without their source forever in themselves. He has not left his thoughts. He could no more depart from them than they could keep him out. A journey from yourself does not exist. And how could you be made to travel on it, walking there without your own reality at one with you?
Okay. So we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
The source is within you. Mm-hmm. It is our own reality. Mm-hmm. How to lose control? Forget the presence of God. That's losing control. The lesson here is to have a low tolerance for your own confusion and your own despair. You begin to say, what do I do? What's going on? I'm angry, I must be wrong. Whatever the tools are, have a low tolerance for confusion and despair. And the promise is, you don't die, so you can take these risks. You're the source, so you're the one who's creating it, so you can do something different. You cannot keep God out.
Woo!
And you travel with your own reality, capital R. So that's what it is all about. So I'm your favorite anarchist preacher. This is the love of my life, the Reverend Yolanda, and you're listening to the Mighty Companions Hour, the Awakening Together Sanctuary.
And we're gonna play a closing song from my CD, Reverend Yolanda's Country Gospel Kirtan Volume 1. It's called God Is. Companion,
All righty. That is us.
Mwah!
We love each and every one of you. Thanks for showing up.
We'll see you next time.